I had struggled with depression and anxiety since middle school, and it was like these chains that just constantly bound me every day, and I couldn't shake it. And I had lost hope, and I was like, this is just my burden to bear. But then I went canvassing the summer before my senior year, and it changed my life. It gave me purpose. It freed me because I realized that I could cast my cares upon God. Going door to door showed me what Jesus did when he was on this earth, where he went trying to share his love and most of the time getting rejected. And it made me a very passionate canvasser because I knew the sacrifice Jesus had made for me, and I wanted to share that with others. But through the year after that, I sort of forgot, and I fell away from that faith in God. I stopped casting my fears on him. And then God brought me canvassing again this summer. And I was trying to be the same canvasser I was the summer before. I was trying to be just as bold and as passionate, and it wasn't working. And instead of being this bold canvasser I was before, I cultivated this mindset of fear. And I was so afraid every time I was being dropped on a street. I was so afraid of the people, of what they would say. And this frustrated me. I would think to myself, why am I so afraid? Why am I not the canvasser I was last summer? There must be something wrong with me. I need to change something. I need to do something. But then I got to the point where I realized I couldn't do it on my own. And so I made a decision one night that I was going to give it to God, and I was going to give my fear to God. And then the next day, I became even more depressed, and my depression and anxiety came back even harder, the hardest it's ever been. And I was so confused. I was like, I'm trying to make a commitment for God. Why am I going through this? And I got to the point emotionally that morning where I said, if God is real, why is this happening to me? God can't be real. And my leader noticed, and he pulled me aside, and he helped me realize the one thing that I had never wanted to admit. He helped me realize that I didn't even know if God was real. And he said, Kimberly, why don't you just ask God to simply prove himself to you today? And I was like, well, what if I'm too blind to see it? What if it's just a coincidence? And I had all these doubts. And he said, why don't you tell God that then? Why don't you ask him to let it be something that's not just a coincidence? And so I decided to do that. But then I prayed to God and I said, God, this is your last chance. If you don't prove yourself to me, I'm going home. I'm done canvassing. Because if you're not real, why would I keep canvassing for a God who's not even real? And I went throughout the day expecting something crazy to happen, like someone would try and shoot me and the bullet would go around my body or something. But at the end of the day, I realized God had done the one thing that I had tried to do and failed. He took away that fear that had put me into depression at the beginning of the summer, that fear that chained me, that kept me up at night. He took it away, and he gave me my boldness back, and he helped me see the purpose of why I was doing this. I went throughout that afternoon unafraid of the people and remembering this one verse, 2 Timothy 1:7, for God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind. And I know that had God not led me to canvassing, to each door and each person that I met, I would still be bound by those chains of depression and anxiety. But it's through these experiences and going door to door that I can see just how much Jesus loves us and just how much he sacrificed for us and all the rejection that he went through for us. And because of these experiences, I can go boldly door to door because I know God is real. I know he loves me, and I want others to know that too.